Hey everyone, Kyle Walker here. If you love cars, fixing things, or just want to understand your vehicle better, you're in the right place. I share hands-on tips, smart driving advice, and straight-up car talk without the fluff. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stick around till the end. You don't want to miss what's coming up. Let's get
Knowledge
into
of
it.
automobile subtleties helps in practice not only those drivers who have a short experience of using the car, but also experienced professionals. Among such important subtleties, undoubtedly, is the knowledge of what signs and how to distinguish gear oil from motor oil. Are there differences between engine oil and transmission fluid? The answer to this question is immediately obvious. Of course, there is a difference. This is eloquently evidenced by their very names. The composition of motor oil and transmission fluid, which have, in fact, the same basis, include different ingredients. However, you should definitely not test the differences between these additives on the basis of your own car. It may accidentally lead to a very serious breakdown, which will then take a long and patient time to repair. Experienced drivers are well aware of this. So, if there is a mix-up, the engine will immediately go bad. The thing is that transmission fluid in the engine will start to burn out at a great speed due to its components, and it will immediately form all sorts of scale on literally all surfaces it touched, and it will be extremely problematic to clean them afterwards. Therefore, careful owners of cars are very meticulous to ensure that they do not mix up. Distinctive features of engine oil. To know how to distinguish engine oil, it is necessary to proceed from its main functional purpose, to lubricate the power unit, its working units. Such an emulsion should maximize, effectively soften the design of the motor, those of its components that are constantly in contact during engine operation. It is made on the basis of either synthetic components or mineral, but can have a mixed composition, forming the so-called semi-synthetic fluids. This is done to ensure that the engine oil has the ability to reliably lubricate parts at elevated temperatures and pressures. Unlike transmission fluid, engine oil has a higher degree of viscosity, although only very experienced car mechanics and drivers can visually determine this. There are also differences in color, which can also be determined only by professionals. Differences of transmission fluids. The main task of transmission fluid is to create a stronger oil film on the parts of this structure. This requirement determines the key difference between transmission oils. It is explained by the fact that parts of the transmission rub with much greater force and receive much greater mechanical load than in the engine, and if they are not abundantly lubricated, they quickly wear out and fail. The composition of such a fluid is created with the assumption that it will have to work at a more gentle temperature regime than the oil for the engine. Moreover, this mode is, as a rule, stable, without sharp changes, as it is fixed in the automobile engine. Because of this, such liquids are also quite viscous, but still inferior to motor oil in terms of viscosity. The main functional difference is achieved due to a different additive than in motor oil, designed to provide reliable protection against huge mechanical loads. Read also, does not open the gas tank hatch on the car. Ways of solution: how to determine the type of motor oil. What is the difference between engine oil and gear oil? Experts can determine in several effective ways. Naturally, the most reliable way is their alternating laboratory test with the use of special equipment, sensors. It is clear that in practice it is very inconvenient, and sometimes just an unrealistic option. Indeed, do not take the equipment with you specially to apply, for example, during the journey, far from service stations or native garage. Much easier and faster to do it by applying folk methods and distinguishing them visually, by color, smell, and viscosity, as well as with the use of ordinary water. By odor, it should be noted that this widespread, quite effective method of checking still does not give a 100% guarantee. It is available only to those drivers or mechanics who have been dealing with such issues for a number of years. In addition, it is necessary to have an excellent sense of smell. Such experts claim that the smell of transmission grease has a specific tint, like garlic or sulfurous aroma. However, their diagnosis will only be accurate if the liquid they are testing has been stored in a tightly closed container and has not been able to evaporate. If it has had access to open air, the specific hue has probably already evaporated, and it is extremely difficult to determine from the smell alone what purpose the liquid is intended for. Since the cost of error in this case is very high, experts strongly recommend not to take risks and try also other forms of testing. By appearance, the option of visual verification is usually considered more effective than assessment by smell. The essence of the check is as follows. So, the thumb and index finger of the hand are dipped into the emulsion being tested for a few seconds. Then remove them from the liquid and gradually open them. Here it is necessary to pay attention. If after uncoupling the fingers there is an immediate rupture of the lubricating film, it is definitely intended for the transmission. If after unclipping the fingers film stretched behind them for a few millimeters in front of us is definitely motor type of oil. Read also, means and methods of combating ice on car windows. It is also worth noting that this format of verification, like the previous one, requires a lot of skills and experience, and a beginner is unlikely to cope with it from the first time. Again, due to the fact that the result may be erroneous, there is no reason to fully trust this method. Water test. Traditionally, water testing is considered the most reliable method compared to visual and odor testing. The algorithm of the test is as follows. For it, a small container is used, which has an impressive diameter. Water is poured into the liquid, drop the liquid into it, and observe what the reaction will be. If the resulting consistency immediately dispersed on the water, creating in addition a rainbow pattern, it is definitely a transmission oil. There may also be another pattern. The consistency has formed a lens-like pattern and has not changed its appearance for a certain period of time. This indicates engine oil. What happens if you mix up the oils? If you mix up the oils, it is quite possible that the car will fail. For example, if the transmission fluid is mistakenly poured into the engine, the powertrain is very likely to fail altogether. The essence is that such a liquid, getting into a new and unfavorable for it environment with a high, severe temperature regime, after a short time will burn out and turn into sludge, deposited inside the walls of the engine as scale. If, on the contrary, the gearbox is filled with engine grease, the consequences will not be so depressing. Experts do not recommend experimenting with such things, as it is unacceptable to risk the health of the car as well as a person. In the end, its treatment will cost a lot, if it helps at all. In conclusion, understanding the differences between gear oil and engine oil is essential for maintaining your vehicle's performance and longevity. Gear oil is specifically formulated to handle the unique demands of gears and differentials, providing superior protection against wear and high-pressure conditions. In contrast, engine oil is designed to lubricate and protect the engine's moving parts, ensuring smooth operation and reducing friction. By using the correct type of oil for each application, you can help ensure that your vehicle runs efficiently and reliably for years to come. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more informative content.